Welcome to our house. This is the Screenplay Podcast. I am your host, Evan Grennis, and with me, as always, PGA Tour champion, Andrew Novak.
Yo, what's up? Panthers' first win of the season. Many more to come.
Check us out on YouTube at Screenplay_podcast. Like and subscribe. We are on socials at Screenplay_podcast. You can also check out our website, thescreenplaypodcast.com. On there, you can find our picks of the week, our guest list, merch, and much more. We got new episodes 8 a.m. every Wednesday, wherever you stream podcasts. Well, Andrew, you can win on the PGA Tour, but what you cannot do is win against me in fantasy. And that is what happened this week. I played Andrew in fantasy week this week in our league. I took him down at 3:17 p.m. on Sunday, 2 hours and 17 minutes into red zone. You text me and you say, my team has been meh, and I'm still smoking you. My roster is truly nasty. At 4:57 p.m., an hour and 40 minutes later, you text me, you're going to win. That's what happens. You text me that you're going to crush me, and then CeeDee Lamb goes out, and Malik Neighbors puts up 3 points. That is karma if I've ever heard of it right there. Evan wins 134, Andrew Novak 110. Champion.
I want everyone to hear that. I have a team with CeeDee Lamb and Malik Neighbors both on it. That is why I say I have the best team in the league. Yeah, I got crazy unlucky. It took an insane amount of things going the wrong way for that to happen, but it doesn't really matter. I still probably have the best team in the league, even potentially with CD out, so I'm not that concerned. One little regular season game is not going to define the season. So
that's wild. I saw CeeDee Lamb and Neighbors stacked up there, and I was like, this is not going to be good. And then they combined for 3 points, and I was like, that's what happens when you send a text too early. That's what happens.
I got 3 points from CD and Neighbors, and I didn't even lose by like that crazy of a margin because Henry kind of threw up a stinker for you. So yeah.
Anyway, that's how fantasy football works. All right, Monday Night Football. Let's get into it. Lions defeat the Ravens 38-30. Lamar Jackson versus the NFC. His record's been unbelievable. That did not happen on Monday night. Goff had a great game. Montgomery and Gibbs combined for just an unreal game. They each had 2 touchdowns. I think that's the 11th or 12th time they've played a game together and have each scored a touchdown. What did you see out of this game on Monday night?
Yeah. I'm not saying that this is a cliff game, but Lamar did not look good. Like there was like 5 times in this game where I thought he was getting out, like going to juke a guy, step out of something, and just take off and gain 15 yards. I don't think I've ever seen Lamar tackled by the ankles this many times in one game. I mean, he took 7 sacks. They were in the backfield kind of all day. A few of them were pretty bad sacks on Lamar's part, but there were a couple times where I thought he was going to get out of there and make a play, and it just didn't happen. The Lions came to play. They dominated the offensive line. They dominated with the defensive line, and that's really where they won this football game. They were able to run the ball on Baltimore. I've definitely got some questions with this Baltimore defense at this point. I mean, it's the Bills and the Lions, but giving up basically 40 points to 2 different teams in 3 weeks is not very good.
Yeah, let's talk about that Ravens defense for a second. Obviously, their offense from week to week is generally fine, but this defense is concerning. Week 1, they give up 41 points to the Bills. Week 2, 17 points, but it was to the Browns. And then this week, 38. They kind of did this last year. It took their defense a while to get going, but how concerning are these first 3 weeks for this Ravens defense?
Look, the Ravens have scored 111 points in 3 games, and they're 1-2. That's not good enough. They've been cooked through the air. They've been cooked on the ground. I've got some serious concerns. Like, I think the run defense will get cleaned up a bit when Madubuike is back, whenever that is. But until then, I mean, teams really are kind of. I mean, the Browns couldn't really do anything, but teams really aren't doing much. So, definitely some concerns going forward.
Yeah, then Derrick Henry. He's got the yips now at this point. I mean,
Yeah.
Went back to the sideline, got really emotional. I've never really seen that out of him during a game. He's got 3 fumbles in 3 games, so that is contributing a little bit to the defense probably letting up more points than they should. But Derrick Henry's got to get back on his game. The Lions, they have the best 4th down offense in the NFL. Some people might think it's the Eagles with the tush push. It's not. It's the Lions. On 4th down, they are really good. They have so many plays that they can go to on 4th down. I mean, that play throwing it to Amon-Ra, what was that, like a 20 or 30-yard completion there? That was real nice. But, yeah, they have no tush push. They're the best 4th down offense in the NFL. The Lions are starting to look like the Lions of 2024.
Yeah, I mean this offensive line got cooking. Anytime the Lions run for more than 200 yards, like you're going to be in trouble because they're play actioning off of that. Like if you cannot stop the run, playing the Lions is almost like playing a triple option team. Like you have to be able to stop the dive. Like you have to be able to stop the run because you know the count. Like if you can't stop the runs, the counters off of that, the Jameson Williams play action plays, like you're just going to get absolutely diced up once they counter off their run plays. And yeah, I mean that happened here.
I'm going to give a shout out to one of our league mates in another league, Cal. I thought going into this game on Monday night that I was cooked, absolutely toasted. I think he needed Zay Flowers to get like 3 points to beat me. And at halftime, I think Zay Flowers had 0 points. I got a little bit of hope, but he ended up with 3.3 points, beat me barely, but that happened. All right, next week, the Ravens, big, massive game. They're going to at Arrowhead. They are both 1-2. I don't know why this game is a 4:25 game. I had an issue with it the other day. Kind of have an issue with it again. Whatever. We're still going to watch it. Massive game. And then the Lions get the Browns at home, and they are coming off a W. Let's get into Sunday Night Football. The Chiefs defeat the Giants 22-9. Man, it was an ugly game out of the Chiefs, but I think it really got overshadowed at the end of the game by how embarrassing that situation was out of the Giants, out of Russell Wilson, Brian Daboll. They had 1st and goal, was it? And I don't think one pass towards the end zone. I think it was 3 passes over the end zone and a QB draw. It was really, really ugly. What'd you see out of this game on Sunday night?
Yeah, I mean it sealed the deal for Russ. I mean they just announced Dart is going to be starting this week. That's
there
crazy.
Had to have been some ownership or media pressure after that embarrassing finish on Sunday night.
We're less than 10 days removed from Russ throwing for 450 yards or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they looked rough. I will say the Giants offensively did show a little bit of hope. They were actually able to run the ball pretty well in this game. Scatterboo looks quite good. They got to get Neighbors going. I think Dart filling in here, they're probably going to run it maybe a little bit more because Dart offers that element
right
with his legs. But I don't necessarily hate that. I thought the Giants defense was all right in this game. The Chiefs were kind of, I don't know. The Chiefs haven't looked right
that
on
was
offense
one of the worst
to me.
First halves I've ever seen out of the Chiefs. I mean, Mahomes had like 2 backwards passes that like weren't caught by, but I don't know what they were doing. I don't know what Andy Reid said at halftime, but that was ugly. Travis Kelce was having a rough game. That was like one of the like a bottom 5 NFL team type performance in the first half out of the Chiefs.
Yeah, it felt like to me for a bit of the game the Chiefs were like trying to silence the outside noise about like, oh, they haven't been able to run the ball. Like Pacheco and Hunt haven't done anything. Mahomes is your like leading rusher. And they were like super committed to the run game, and then it just like was not working. Like Pacheco averaged like 4 yards a carry. Hunt was even like less efficient than that. Like neither of them could really get going. I would not be surprised if maybe like the Chiefs make a move for a running back at some point later this year. Because I just don't see how they can function without a run game this year. Maybe a little Alvin Kamara trade or something like that. Yeah, they looked a little better in the second half. It was nice to see Mahomes just letting it rip deep. I mean, absolutely fishing for PIs and stuff, but whatever.
Thornton had a good game. He had that drop, but then he had that nice catch after. He was definitely the deep threat there while some of these other pieces are out.
Mm-hmm.
So like we said, they're playing the Ravens at home this coming week. That's going to be a massive game. They're both 1-2. Let's talk about Jackson Dart for a second. I didn't think he would get in this early. He is. Let's look at this schedule because it is truly nasty. I think it's going to be a tough go for Jackson Dart. So this week we got the 3-0 Chargers. They're coming into town at home against the Giants. That's going to be tough. Next week you're at the Saints. Little break there. But then after that Saints game, listen to this. You got Eagles at Giants. That's going to be brutal. At Broncos, that's a tough defense. And then you got the Eagles again. 49ers at Giants, at Bears, and then you got Packers coming to Giants. These are not some easy defenses he's going to be facing.
Yeah, it's definitely a rough stretch. I was kind of going back and forth though because I was kind of like, why would you not start Russ against a good Chargers defense this week and then let Dart like kind of ease himself in for Saints? But now I'm like seeing how it gets after that.
There's
like
no good time.
I kind of do want him to get one game in versus the Chargers. It's probably going to be ugly. But then at least he feels comfortable so he can get one decent game versus the Saints before he just gets absolutely gauntleted by the rest of that schedule.
Yeah, facing the Eagles twice in 3 weeks, that's not good for a rookie quarterback. All right, let's get to
No.
a game that happened a while ago. Thursday Night Football. Bills defeat the Dolphins 31-21. I got to say, Miami, they were holding strong in this game. They showed a lot of fight. They showed a lot of effort. They just couldn't overcome a few key mistakes at the end of that game. Their captain on defense, Zach Sealer, absolutely terrible penalty, roughing the kicker. I think the game was 21-21 tied. They were getting the ball back when that penalty occurred. So, I mean, that was just a game-wrecking penalty. And then you have Tua with the inexplicable interception at the end of the game to seal the game. He kind of does that a lot. I think maybe it's just him being smaller, can't see those guys out there. But what did you see on Thursday Night Football? I mean, it ended up 31-21, but I don't think the score indicates how close this game really was.
Yeah, this game was a lot closer than I expected it to be. I think the Bills' defense in general kind of surprised me how much they struggled at times. I think no Ed Oliver, no Matt Milano was a lot more significant than maybe I had realized. I mean, obviously those are two big names going down, but the run defense just was not what you wanted to see out of the Bills. I thought Dolphins were able to find a decent bit of room and just keep drives going, like staying on schedule. The Dolphins were 10 for 15 on third down in this game and 1 for 1 on fourth down. So really the Bills just couldn't get off the field efficiently or effectively defensively. And that just kept this game a lot closer than, what we were really expecting.
I think Tyreek Hill had one of the greatest plays I've ever seen in this game where it was 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, maybe even longer, but they needed a first down in the situation. And Tyreek caught the ball maybe like a yard behind the sticks, ran backwards to gain speed, and then picked up another 6 or 7 yards. Like the speed that he was showing out there was unbelievable. Achan, is he a running back or is he a wide receiver? 7 for 9 on receptions. I mean, if you got him in your fantasy lineup, this dude is half and half. Ollie Gordon was getting some work, 9 carries, 38 yards, a touchdown. They found another good back there.
Yeah, Achan and McCaffrey have separated themselves pretty much from all the other running backs in targets so far. McCaffrey actually has more targets than Achan so far this year, but yeah, I mean that's kind of why you drafted him. It's not because this offense is really expected to be fantastic this year, but it's because of how much target volume he gets. I mean, uh, they're very high level or they're very easy to convert targets. So you're pretty much anytime Tua is throwing the ball to Achan, it's pretty much going to be 1 point right there if you're playing full PPR. So yeah, that's one of the big benefits of having him.
One of the crazy stats I saw is that the Bills now 25 games in a row have won the turnover battle. So if you are playing the Bills, like you really got to play some mistake-free football if you want to come out on the winning side. 25 games in a row winning the turnover battle. That's some good coaching from the top down. All right, let's get into some other games here. Bears defeat the Cowboys 31-14. Bears fans are very happy. Caleb looked good. 4 touchdown passes. He goes 19 for 28. This game, to me personally, I'm not taking a whole lot of it because it's the Cowboys defense. What about you?
Yeah, I think the Bears took advantage of a pretty terrible defense. They didn't run the ball particularly well in this game. Dallas seemed to be stopping that pretty well, but the pass game, I mean, the Bears averaged over 10 yards per pass attempt, not completion, pass attempt. I mean, anytime they literally threw the ball, that was first down. That's how it went for the game. So that is not good. Dallas is going to have to fix that. This was something that was brought up weeks ago when we said, their EPA per play on defense without Micah Parsons is terrible when he is not in the game. And that's what this defense is. It's now that defense without Micah Parsons. They have no way to really pressure the quarterback, and they're just getting torched right now. Pretty much the only bright part of this game, the run game looked pretty good for Dallas in this game. They were able to run it decently, but they had to kind of bail on that because they got down in the second half and just had to sling it around. CeeDee Lamb now hurt. You have your starting center and now your starting guard, your rookie Tyler Booker hurt. There's definitely some issues for this Cowboys team.
Yeah, that's one of the big storylines here. We mentioned it earlier. You have CeeDee Lamb on one of your teams. He goes out very early in that game. It's very clear that this offense runs through him. Without him on the field, that deep threat. I mean, Pickens did okay this game, but I think Pickens is better in there when CD is in there. It hurt the run game a little bit. Yeah, Javonte's going to take a hit. They got the Packers coming to town this week.
Yeah,
I mean, you got Micah Parsons. Like, Jerry
Yeah.
Jones and the Cowboys could really get embarrassed this week. Yeah, Packers at Cowboys. Next week the Bears are
This
at the Raiders.
this CD injury is going to mess up your Pickens versus Aubrey
You know what?
weekly
We're
tracker.
through 3 weeks, and Aubrey is still leading him by, I believe, 3 fantasy points. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Let's talk about so we're in a chopped league together. A chopped league is the worst team each league. Each week gets eliminated. Their players go to the waiver wire. We started with
Also known as a guillotine league.
guillotine league. Guillotine
Yeah,
league. Yeah.
could be both.
So I believe the loser this week had CeeDee Lamb on his team. He put up a 0. So CeeDee Lamb is now
Yeah.
going to the waiver wire. I'm really confused. Like, how much fob am I willing to give on CeeDee Lamb? He's definitely a league winner, someone you want in the last few weeks. But also, if I spend some fob money on him, like, and he's not active the next 4 weeks, and I don't get through the next 4 weeks, like, it doesn't really help you there either. So, what's your thought on how much CeeDee's really worth going into this next week?
You really want me to tell you, don't you?
I
I'm not telling you what
I
I'm
spent
bidding.
a big load on Amon Ra already. I dumped a
Yeah.
big load, so I don't think CD's
I
crazy
still
high
got-
value to me compared to maybe.
I still got like 99% of mine, so
Yeah,
I got decisions to make. I am currently starting like Tyler Algier at a running back position right now, though, which is not good. So I probably need to fix that first.
yeah. When you get 18 teams drafting, you get some scraps there at the end.
Yeah.
All right, let's go into one more game. Eagles defeat the Rams 33-26. So the game was 27-26. There was a field goal attempt for the Rams to win the game. It was blocked. It was ran back. It was for a touchdown. It was one of the worst beats I've ever seen. I'm glad I didn't bet on it. So the line was plus 3.5. You know, the Rams are about to kick the field goal. You're thinking, all right, great. Like, they either hit this and win the game or they miss it and they still cover. But no, they blocked the field goal. All they have to do is jump on the ball and the game's over and you still cover. But he picks it up, goes the other way. They win by, what is that, 7 points? Yeah, so in no way did this game ever look like the Eagles were going to win by 7 points, but they do. They cover the spread. What did you see out of this game? I think it's important to note now, Stafford is 0-4 against Hurts. And the Rams they come close, but they can't beat the Eagles.
Yeah, shout out Jordan Davis being like 300 and whatever pounds, running 18 and a half miles an hour, I saw. That's some impressive, freakish stuff. Yeah, I thought this game, I mean, the way it started for the Eagles, I thought, oh boy, here it goes. This offense hadn't been clicking. How are they going to come back? And they finally got it together. Apparently, throwing the ball to A.J. Brown is actually a good form of offense. Who would have known? It was good to see Jalen Hurts back looking a little bit more like Jalen Hurts slinging around. This run game, I would say, for the Eagles does need to kind of get going. Like, Saquon's had kind of a slower start this year. This is a Rams team that he absolutely torched last year. Like, in 2 games against the Rams last year, he averaged like over 200 yards combined in those 2 games. So, yeah, definitely something that they've got to get cleaned up. But I don't know. I think these are both playoff teams from what we've seen so far. Would you agree with that?
I think so. The Eagles are 100% going to make it. And
Yeah.
the Rams, with the way they're playing, there's no reason that they won't.
The Rams, with what I've seen, improvement in their front
I mean,
seven,
if the Rams
and
make that
particularly
field goal,
their pass
if
rush.
the Rams make that field goal, they're 3-0, and you know
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
Like yes,
So yeah, I mean, this is the kind of game, the back and forth kind of game you expect to see from 2 good football teams. So
leave it to me that first week I decided to put Devonta Smith on my fantasy bench. He puts up 20 points and a touchdown. Just
yeah,
that's where we're at right about now. Let's get into some other talking points, some other weird finishes. The Packers, the Browns. I had actually we both had money on the Packers this week. They're up 10-0. It's the fourth quarter. I'm feeling good about this bet. You said before the week that the Packers were going to put up 14 points. It was going to be enough to win this game. It was looking like it. 27 seconds.
it should have been.
There's 27 seconds left in the game. The Browns block a field goal. They manage 17 yards of their own, and then they hit a game-winning field goal. Impeccable football out of the Browns there in that last 30 seconds. Just a wild finish. I mean, what do you got to say about this game?
My argument was sound. I mean, Green Bay had it under control, and the Browns did drive down and get a field goal, but all the Packers really had to do was just possess the ball and then punt it. Like, the Browns were not going to actually move the ball down the field. I mean, they had on their last three drives, they had three scoring drives in the last, 4 minutes of the game. They managed like 70 yards on those three drives combined. They just had short fields and didn't have to do anything. The Packers they really need to lean on their defense a little bit more. Love was not good in this game. They couldn't run the ball, which they should be able to run the ball against most teams this year, I would think. The Browns just are one of the teams that actually has a defense that's good enough to stop them like that. I think it very well may have been the two best defenses in the NFL playing in this game. And they just, untimely penalty or untimely turnover, and, not taking advantage of special team stuff, and that's what happens.
Yeah, that was a tough beat. Let's go to another tough beat. I had the Bucs -7 versus the Jets. I was feeling so good about this one. They stopped showing this game on Red Zone for a while that it was starting to get out of hand.
Yeah.
They led 23-6 in the fourth quarter. Jets block a Tampa Bay field goal, return it. They end up going up 27-6. Now, there was a lot of people in our survivor pool that actually took the Bucs, and this is, after Green Bay just got eliminated. We're looking at another big elimination here, but Baker drove them down the field, gets the field goal they needed. The Bucs are just making a habit of making these games way too close. They're winning, they're 3-0, but they are just really skating by the thin of their teeth on some of these.
Yeah, they're 3-0 with a total of +6 points in those three games combined. They got a 1 point, a 2 point, and a 3 point win. So Baker's getting them wins at the end, but it's been super sloppy. They need to clean some stuff up. I mean, this is not a very good Jets team. This is a home game. It should not be this close. They had 14 penalties in this game. The Buccaneers definitely have some things to fix. Obviously, Mike Evans getting hurt is going to be significant for them.
Igbuka, though, I mean, did you see some of the catches that guy had this week?
Yeah.
He is the truth.
He's good, man.
Yeah.
Remember when I said I had Neighbors and CD on that team? I also got Igbuka, so I'm going to be fine.
And you got Rice on the bench on that team coming back.
Yeah, I'm going to be just fine. But, no, I think I'm not – I wouldn't say I'm concerned yet with the Buccaneers. Like, they are in a division that's a joke right now. But, yeah, they definitely got to clean some stuff up as we get farther in the year. They got a big test this week as well, so –
all right, undefeated teams. There are 6 remaining. In the AFC, it is the Bills, the Colts, and the Chargers. In the NFC, it is the Eagles, the Bucs, and the 49ers. If you start 3-0 in the NFL, since the playoff expansion, you have an 86% chance of making the playoffs. So these teams they're looking good after 3 weeks. Which of these undefeated teams will be the last one remaining?
Yeah, I think it's the Bills. I think right now they've been the best team, and if you look through this schedule, it's kind of a joke.
It is.
Like this next stretch, they don't really play any teams that scare me until November. They play Chiefs, and even that's at home. So the Bills could really go on a bit of a run here. They could be undefeated for a while.
I agree. So the Eagles, I looked at it. They have a tough schedule. I think they're going to lose a game somewhere. The Bucs have some injuries. The 49ers have some injuries. And then the Colts and the Chargers, they play each other in 4 weeks. So one of them's going to get a loss at some point. I looked at the Bills' schedule. It's kind of a joke, like you said. You could pencil them in for another 4 wins in a row before they at least play the Chiefs in November.
Yeah.
Let's go to the other side of this. Winless teams. There are 6 of them. In the NFC, it is the Saints and the Giants. In the AFC, it is the Titans, the Texans, the Dolphins, and the Jets. If you are winless through 3 weeks in the NFL, you have a 2.5% chance of reaching the playoffs. All of these teams are undefeated. Can any of them make the playoffs?
I don't feel really good about it for any of them right now. Maybe Houston is the one that I think could maybe turn around and go on a run. The rest of them are kind of all a mess. I will say if you look at all of the 0-3 teams, every single one is currently in a division where the leading team in their division is also 3-0. So that is a big gap. It's not like there's, a weaker division where you could, where the leading team is maybe 1-2 or 2-1 or anything crazy early on. Like all these other teams, they're already in deficits. I think Houston's the one that stands out to me. The Colts have looked strong. We'll see if that maintains. I think that's one where Houston could fight back and maybe get to 10-7 and still potentially win that division at that.
Yeah, so on the NFC side, I think that division's just much better. You can cross the Giants and the Saints out. On the AFC side, the middle of their division's kind of weak. You got the 2-1 teams are the Bengals, the Steelers. I do think that the Texans have a chance to, get some wins and still make the playoffs. That being said, like their team doesn't look good. So
Yeah.
I don't know if they will do it, but I do think if there's a chance for a team to, that is the one. All right, let's get into where we were right and where we were wrong. Let's start with where we were right. So we've made some predictions before the season. We're 3 weeks in. We can start to make a judgment on them. Give me some of your takes that you've been right on.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. I went through so much of my stuff. I was literally just wrong on like basically everything. Like the only things that I could like definitively find, like we both were in agreement that the Saints were gonna be horrible. And that's looking pretty good.
Yeah,
And then I was not very sold on the Jaguars. Now they are 2-1, but they have looked rough in my opinion.
I'm not a
So like
buyer on the Jags yet.
I'm kind of like counting that, and they're 2-1. Like that is quite literally the extent of like, dude, it's so bad. So much of my stuff. I mean, I just was wrong after being right. Maybe that's why I keep missing on all my bets too each week because all of my everything I'm going in with is just wrong. But man, it was bad. Yeah.
All right, I mean, it's funny. The more you know football, the less you know. Okay, so yeah, we both were on the Saints are going to suck. I said they're going to get one win this year, and that might be true. Before the season, I said the Bucs are going to win the NFC South by 6 games. It may be more than that. It just before the season, I said the Dolphins and Mike McDaniel are not going to work. It's going to be a dumpster fire. So far, that's looking true. We'll see what happens there. Before the season, I called Wan'Dale Robinson as a sleeper. He's looking like it so far at wide receiver number 18. That's where I was right, but there are a ton where I was wrong. Let's go through it. What do you got? What are some takes that you've missed on so far?
I did have the Falcons beating the Buccaneers in that NFC South, so that's looking terrible. I also had the Titans potentially being a sneaky team this year and definitely being ahead of the Colts, who I had the Colts being rough this year. So that's looking like one of the worst takes you could actually possibly have. That's 0-3 versus 3-0, and both teams, Colts have looked great, Titans have looked terrible. I had Burrow being the passing leader in the NFL this year. That's just not happening at all.
That's a tough one. That's just an injury, but yeah.
I had the Ravens being my Super Bowl favorite and potentially going 15-2, even with that tough schedule. Technically still possible, but they're going to have to rip off 14 in a row if they want to do that. One of my biggest sleepers for fantasy this year, Calvin Ridley. Yeah, that's looking terrible. I have been wrong on so many things. I hope y'all did not listen to me in the offseason. In fairness to myself, I was horrible on my picks last year through 3 weeks as well. I want to say I might have been 2-7 on my bets through 3 weeks last year, or maybe 2-6-1, and I still managed to come back from it. So
you still hit at like a really good rate last year. You still
stick with me. I may not bet the first 3 weeks next year because apparently my off-season scouting is horrendous. But yeah, it's been rough so far.
No, I'll double up with you. The Calvin Ridley stuff, we were just wrong. It's
not a good football player.
He's got eight catches on 21 targets and no touchdowns. You said you drafted him like everywhere. I reached on him for in a league, and I'm so disappointed out of that.
Yeah.
Another place I was wrong. Evan Ingram. I had him as my tight end number 4 for this year.
Whoops.
Yeah, he's got 4 catches and a back injury. I don't know what's going on with him. Sorry there. And then Texans winning the AFC South. Yeah, that's not looking good. So
yeah.
we definitely missed on a few as well. All right. Last thing we're gonna get into this here. So the past week, the Panthers just beat the Atlanta Falcons 30-0. So the question is, who is gonna play against the Carolina Panthers in the Super Bowl?
Yeah. So we just shut out the Falcons. We now have the best defense in the NFL. It's crazy. Nobody would have guessed it. But yeah, at this point, I mean, I'm not really sure there's any NFC teams that can actually beat us and how good our defense is, because all we have to score is 1 point, and the defense holds them to 0, and that's our new that's our new way of winning. Hopefully, we play the Colts in the Super Bowl because, well, I don't think we can really beat any of the other AFC teams, but. No, I just want to shout out the Panthers this week for giving me a little bit of happiness beating the Falcons. Those are really the only games that matter. If we can go 2-15 this year, have another good pick, and both wins are against the Falcons, I will be very happy.
All right, let's get into our power rankings. I am going to preface this by saying at number 11, we got the 49ers. They're 3-0. They just have so many injuries. I found it hard to put them into this top 10 again. At number 10, I got the Chiefs again. They're 1-2. I was not impressed with the Chiefs this week at all. They got a win. They didn't move in the rankings. I definitely couldn't move them up after that win, but I was like, they got a win. Can I really move them down? So the Chiefs are at 10. At number 9, I got the Colts. They're 3-0. Offensively, they've put up 33, 29, 41. They got the Rams this week. It's probably the toughest opponent yet. We're going to see if they can stay undefeated. At number 8, I got the Ravens. They're dropping 3 spots. They're 1-2. Henry has a real fumble issue right now. The defense is absolutely terrible. They're playing the Chiefs this week. It's a massive game. At number 7, I got the Bucs. They're 3-0. They keep managing to make games close. That probably shouldn't be. Their O-line's a little banged up. Mike Evans just got a hamstring injury. They got a tough game this week. At number 6, I got the Rams, 2-1. Easily could be 3-0. Their offense is good. Their defense and their cornerbacks struggle on A.J. Brown. They're 0-4 versus Hurts. A little bit concerning about how they play against the Eagles. At number 5, I got the Lions. They're 2-1. They're moving up 3 spots. They maybe week 1 was a fluke. It looks like the 2024 Lions. They beat up on the Ravens. They look good. They're moving up this list fast. At 4, I got the Packers. They're 2-1. They're going to drop a spot this week. Jordan Love gave this game away. Their defense is still great. They played a great defense. I'm going to count this game up to a little bit of a fluke. They drop a spot. Packers are still good. At number 3, we got the Chargers. They're 3-0. They're moving up a spot. Herbert is an MVP level. Everyone on the team is eating. He's throwing it a bunch. Najee Harris is out for the season, though. He's having a tough year. At number 2, we got the Bills. 3-0. Another week, another win. They're just going to keep stacking wins here. At number 1, we got the Eagles. 3-0. Was it a lucky win? I don't know. Maybe. Probably. But they keep winning. If they just keep winning every week, they're going to stay in that number 1 spot. Anything there?
No, I think the NFC is like probably San Fran, like you said. I think Washington probably just on the outside looking in as well. With a healthy Jaden Daniels, they probably could be considered a top 10 team. But yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's get into fantasy. A lot of injuries. Let's take a look at them. I mean, there's been injuries throughout the past couple of weeks, but this week, the big ones. Tyrone Tracy, he was having a really good about 3 minutes in that game until he got hurt. James Conner, he hits the IR. I think that's he had surgery on his ankle. That might be a season.
That's season ender. Yeah. He had ligament damage and broken ankle, really bad one.
Zach Charbonnet, he was out this week, but I saw he was full participant in practice on Monday, so he should be good to go in week 4. Najee Harris, we just mentioned this. This dude is having a terrible year. He blew his eye out a couple months ago and then tore his Achilles this month, so I don't know what kind of bad karma he did, but I mean, he's getting hit hard. Wide receivers, Mike Evans has his yearly hamstring pull. It happened in week 3. CeeDee Lamb, he goes out. They're calling that 2 to 4 weeks. We'll see what happens there. Tight end, Evan Ingram, we mentioned it earlier. Back problems, that's never good. He's out. Am I missing any big injuries from this week?
Terry McLaurin did go out of that game, and he was finally actually having a solid start to the game.
Yeah, I think he still had 17
That'll be one to monitor.
Points. Yeah.
He had 70-something yards before he went out. I want to say it was a quad, I think I saw, but that'll definitely be one to monitor. Hopefully that's not lingering.
All right, week 4 starts. Who we starting this week?
Yeah, we'll go in our matchup. Your Patriots versus my Panthers. Travion Henderson. Ramondre fumbled twice last week. Gibson fumbled once. At some point in time, this will be Travion Henderson's backfield. Playing the Panthers, I don't really think the Panthers actually have a good defense now. I think that it was just a miracle game. For whatever reason, we always play good against the Falcons. Travion Henderson, I think, finally has his breakout game this week. Gets in the end zone and returns the value of where you drafted him. Next, I'll go Ricky Pearsall. Had a big week last week. Get him back in there playing the Jaguars. That is not a good defense. I like his matchup this week, even if Juwan Jennings does play. Breece Hall playing the Dolphins. I don't think that Dolphins run defense is great. I think Breece Hall has a nice solid game here and potential decent little sell high window after this Dolphins game. And then lastly, J.K. Dobbins playing home game against the Bengals. Had a solid week this past week. The Bengals defense is not good. I think he keeps that going.
I'm going to go Green Bay starters versus Dallas. Love, Golden, Dobbs, Jacobs, Wicks, Kraft.
All
Get
of them.
all of them. Get them all in there. Bills defense. If you got them, put them out there. They're playing New Orleans. T. Higgins versus Denver. I think Denver tries to shut down Jamar a little bit. Jake Browning's thrown a ton of interceptions, but he's shown that he's going to throw them. So I think T. Higgins has a good week versus Denver. Here are some running backs that really need to be on the field. Omarion Hampton with Najee Harris. He needs to be on the field. Cam Scatterbo, we just saw he's got some game. He needs to be on the field with Tyrone Tracy going down. And then Trey Benson. He needs to be on the field most likely with James Conner going down. We just saw this happen with Jordan Mason. He's getting more work now that Aaron Jones is out. And this past week he put up 23 points. So some of those names I just named, I can see some numbers like that happening. The last one I want to throw in here is Hollywood Brown. I think he's just absolutely going to eat versus Baltimore in that 425 window. Let's go to week 4 sits. Who you got?
Yeah, I got Tony Pollard. He's been getting pretty much all the work for Tennessee, but he has not been efficient, and I think that continues against a pretty good Houston run defense. I'm just not seeing it. He's kind of touchdown dependent, stole one last week, but the Titans just aren't scoring many points, so I don't like Tony Pollard this week. Chase Brown, this might be crazy, but they're playing Denver, and it's been rough, man. He has had no running room. He's averaging 2 yards a carry. Unless he gets there passing game wise, which is possible, I just don't like it against Denver. It's a terrible matchup, and it just seems like he's looking like heading towards bust territory, especially without Burrow. And lastly, I'm going JMO, Jameson Williams, playing against the Browns.
Yeah, it's a bad
I like
spot.
the play. I like the player, but it's a tough spot. I think this is a game the Lions are going to be leading in. They'll be leaning more on the run game. And it feels like you're kind of hoping he hits a long one because I don't think it's going to be good volume.
All right, I'll stay with you on that game. Montgomery just had a massive game, but I think it's a tough game for Montgomery versus Cleveland. We just saw Josh Jacobs. He rushed for 30 yards against Cleveland. Like, he got some other work with catching, but Montgomery's not the catching guy. So if he's not running the ball for a lot of yards, I think he's going to struggle versus Cleveland. T-Mac, McMillan versus New England. I think New England locks him down a little bit this week. I think New England has a big comeback week. Is
Gonzalez healthy this week?
I believe Gonzalez is playing this week. And if that's
he
the
didn't
case,
play last week either,
then we're going to keep McMillan out. I love saying this, but we're going to keep Pickens on the bench versus Green Bay. Green Bay is a nasty defense. I think CeeDee Lamb going out actually hurts Pickens' value. I think it might help Ferguson a little bit. I think it hurts Pickens. Last one I want to put in here is Marvin Harrison Jr. versus Seattle. He has some drop issues. He is just not getting targeted that much. Seattle's defense is one of the youngest and fastest and really good defenses in the NFL. I think that's a Thursday night game.
Thursday this week, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to keep MHJ on the bench. All right, gambling. Let's get into it. Last week was tough, not just for us, but a lot of people. To be honest, I went 1-2, and I'm pretty grateful I did. Like, just seeing how some of those games went, like, there had to have been a lot of 0-3 weeks out of there. I took the Seahawks, easy hit there. Took Green Bay and took the Bucs, 2 hard hits. Andrew, you went 0-3 this week. Took the Bills, took Green Bay, and took Houston. Took some tough hits there. On the year, I'm 4-5, and on the year, Andrew is 2-7. But we are coming back, Andrew.
Killing it.
I'm gonna take you through the games this week. Take you through the lines, and then we will give you our bets. On Thursday, we get Seahawks at Cardinals. Cardinals are getting 1.5. Sunday, 9:30 a.m. from Dublin, Vikings and Steelers. Steelers are getting 2.5. 1 p.m. window, Commanders at Falcons. Falcons getting 1.5. Saints at Bills. Bills giving 16.5. Browns at Lions. Lions giving 8.5. Titans at Texans. Texans favored by 7. Your Carolina Panthers versus my New England Patriots. We might have to bet on that separately. Carolina Panthers at New England Patriots. Patriots are favored by 5.5. Chargers at Giants. Giants getting 6.5. Eagles at Bucs. Bucs getting 3.5. Let's move to that 4 p.m. window. Jaguars at 49ers. 49ers -3. Colts at Rams. Rams -3.5. Ravens at Chiefs. Chiefs +2.5. Bears at Raiders. Raiders -1.5. Late night game, Packers at Cowboys. Cowboys +6.5. On Monday, we get 2 games. At 7:15, it is Jets at Dolphins. Dolphins are favored by 3. And at 8:15, it is Bengals at Broncos. Broncos are favored by 7.5. What are your 3 bets of the week?
Yeah, the way I look at it, I'm only 1-3-0 week away from being almost 500, so it's
I
not
like
that
it.
bad. We are going to start off with the Commanders, -1.5 on the road against Atlanta. Atlanta looked super rough this past week. I'm banking on Jaden Daniels getting back in there and Washington putting together a good one. Even if Daniels doesn't play, this is a revenge game for Mariota, so still kind of valid for me. Don't I kind of like it either way. Next up, I'm taking Chicago +1.5 at the Raiders. This line does not make sense to me. The Bears, I think, are trending up. Vegas has been rough. Their offensive line is terrible. I like this one. And then lastly, I will take, going right back for it, I'm taking Green Bay -6.5 at Dallas. I think this is a tough one for Dallas. This game could get kind of ugly. I know I said that last week, but I think Green Bay scores more easily in this game, and I think it will be tough for Dallas to keep up scoring because of how good that Green Bay defense is. So I think they cover that line.
Sometimes I like to put bets on games that I'm rooting for, and in the case of this Packers and Cowboys game, I am rooting for the Packers to win this game 65-7. So I'm going to put money on the Packers -6.5. I like that. I think it's a good spot for the Packers, and I would really like to see the Cowboys get embarrassed after trading Micah Parsons on a standalone game. I'm going to go Lions, -8.5 at home. They're taking on the Browns. This one could be a blowout. This one has 52-10 written all over it in a 1 p.m. window. Lastly, I'm going to go on this Thursday night game. I'm taking the Seahawks -1.5. I don't see the Cardinals going 4-0. I think the Seahawks are a good team. So I think the Seahawks win this game. I'm taking the Seahawks -1.5. Lock them in. All right, let's get over into our Survivor pool. Our Survivor pool, $500 cash to the winner. It was a no entry fee for everyone that entered. We started with 187 entrants. We are down to 105. There are 105 contestants still alive. Let's take you through this week. Most picked, Seattle. I took Seattle this week. It was the most picked. 28.6% of people took Seattle. It got them through into the next week. The second most picked team this week, the Green Bay Packers. 20% of the pool took the Green Bay Packers. Y'all are done. That was a tough loss. Green Bay Packers, yeah, they are out. If you took them, there is no more. I was a little shocked that 5% of the pool took the Atlanta Falcons. They lost 30-0. That's a tough hit. 5% of the pool. 15% of the pool chose Tampa Bay. Their hearts were racing at the end there, but Tampa Bay nearly sneaks by. Who did you end up taking this week? You took the Bills early in the week, didn't you?
I did burn the Bills, yeah.
Yeah, the Bills. I think that was an easy lock, but yeah, I looked at the Bills' schedule coming up the next few weeks, and I'm like,
There's a lot of opportunities.
I was like, there's a lot of opportunity to use them. So I'm alive. Andrew's still alive. 103 other people are still alive. $500 to the winner. We're gonna keep that segment going all season long. Next week, new guest. We got a big guest coming on. Adrian Colbert, NFL safety for 9 years. He was drafted by the 49ers in 2017. From 2022 through 2024, he was on the Chicago Bears. He played college ball for the Texas Longhorns and Andrew Novak's Miami Hurricanes. We're lucky enough to have him on the podcast next week. We will be discussing his NFL journey, his love for golf, and a whole lot more. You won't want to miss that next week. Adrian Colbert. All right, Panthers and Patriots this coming week. Should we bet on it?
We might get a little side action, but I'm going to need that spread in there because I know my Panthers just won, but that's probably not happening again.
Oh, I don't know if I want to give you 5.5. If I was really confident about that 5.5, I probably would have taken it in our bets. We'll figure something out. Check us out on YouTube at Screenplay_podcast. We are on socials at Screenplay_podcast. New episodes every Wednesday, 8 a.m. wherever you stream podcasts. You can also check us out on the ScreenplayPodcast.com for our picks of the week, guest list, merch, and much more. We are getting into NFL Week 4. Everyone enjoy it. We get an international game this week for a Sunday morning game. That'll be good. Any last words, Andrew?
Yeah, we get a double Monday night game as well, too,
Yeah.
I believe, this week, which I know you love. Those will be simultaneous instead of the stacked as the other week, which is going to suck. But, hopefully y'all are doing better bets than me. Somehow still in the survivor pool with all of these whiffs that I've had in my picks. But, Yeah, good luck to y'all this week.
All right, appreciate it. We will see y'all next week.